Hi, everybody. This is Melinda Cooper, and I am living the dream. Today, I'm living the dream on the road, so that's why I'm here. You see this interesting background. Yes, I'm in my car. I'm grateful that Marian LaSalle, my collaborator, my cohort, my definitely partner in crime, is here to help me along the road and on this wonderful journey that we're going. Right, Marian?
I love that. That last part, that was me. Partner
Yeah.
in crime right here.
There you go. There you go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Before we start today, I'd like to send out a shout out to my niece, Jennifer, and her brand new husband, Jody, wishing them congratulations and best of luck on their brand new journey of life. I just wanted to say that. Thank you. Shout out. So anyway, today, we're still talking about taking your passion and creating. Oh my God, creating some income on it. What do you think, Marion? How would you like
Oh,
to do that?
so many people need it right now. Melinda, there's people being laid off. There's people being threatened to get laid off. There's people that have been out of work for months now, and we need to help them increase their income.
That's absolutely right, because I'm going to tell you what, as I look around and I see more and more people coming off, they're just, oh my God, I just got laid off, or I got extended, or they told me to stay at home, and I even have some people that say, I don't like being at home feeling like I'm isolated because I don't have anybody to talk to. And I always say, you know what? Why don't you turn yourself and make some money out of your passion, what you love to do, right? So today we're going to cover podcasting and YouTube. What do you think, Marion? You like those?
I do. I do them both.
Yes, you do. Marion, I got to give you a kudos here. You're one of the ladies that actually just drives forward and helps the rest of us drive forward, because you jumped into podcasts with Podcast Movement way back in the day. Gratefully, that's when I met Jamie and all the other people that were out there, Pat Flynn, you name it. I met so many people because you said, come on, Melinda, we're going. I was like, okay, we're going, and that's kind of how this journey works. Either she pulls me along or I pull her along. But podcasting, I've discovered, Marion, is fabulous for people who don't like being in front of the video camera, right?
And there's a lot of people out there. If they would give themselves time to get used to the camera, they could do it. But they just no, I don't want to be. No, it makes them nervous. And I understand when I first started getting in front of the camera, I was the same way. So I used to do videography with my company, and we would take the cameras out and the lights and all that stuff, and we would go out to people's businesses. I remember one in particular where we went out, and the lady was ready for us, and she had, she was all prepared and everything. And as soon as that camera light went on, I thought she was going to faint. She was so nervous. So they made us stop, and she had her daughter write out what she was supposed to say and put them on big poster boards. And you could hear the lady's hands were shaking, so you could hear it was a mess, literally. And all because that light went on and they were videotaped, which it makes people nervous.
Well, Marion, I got to tell you, as well as anybody else, I too started behind the camera, and it's taken me a long time to get in front of the camera. But most of the time, we all have our own perception. We have our perception of what we would love to look like before we get in front of the camera. Oh, I've got to lose weight. I got to do this. I got to do that. And you know what, folks, I've realized that people will take you as you are, as long as you're being genuine and as long as you're really bringing value. So let's get back to this on that, just on that note, on the value. Podcast to me is a little different world. What do you think, Marianne?
It is a different world because of several reasons. One of them that I can think of is people who listen to podcasts are typically alone. So they're driving the car, they're walking the dog, they're home doing laundry, they're literally they're alone doing things, and they can move around with an earbud. That's all they need is a cell phone and an earbud, and they can listen to podcasts, and you can have it piped into your car as you're driving down the road.
Right.
And so I think even if you're doing video, you should still have a podcast, because you're missing out on all those people who want to hear what you have to say through their earbuds while they're moving along. A lot of people can't sit in front of a computer and watch videos all day, but they can listen to a podcast.
And you're absolutely right, Marion. I agree with you. So many times, myself included, I will listen to an audible, I will listen to books, and I'd hate to tell you how many books I listen to just in a month, right? While I'm driving in from Green Acres or wherever I happen to be from at that moment. And when you're driving down the road, you're absolutely right. Let me turn on a podcast now. I will tell you, there's a couple of podcasts that I laugh so hard that I'm sure people driving past me are going, "What in the world is she doing?" I am laughing and I'm having a good time, but they're giving me great information. They're giving me aha moments. Sometimes they make me laugh at myself going, "Oh my God, I actually did that." Oh, I did that, and we do that. And for me, it's the idea that, yes, everybody says we have to build a relationship. Yes, everybody says we have to be able to connect the face to the name, all those things. But, podcast to me, here comes the secret. If I can have a podcast who can speak my language or who peacefully can make me laugh, and I don't have to have somebody in front of my face. I know that sounds bad, but I'll listen to them longer, right? I'll listen to them longer because they're not a distraction for me.
You're talking about a radio voice. Somebody who's been
Ooh.
told, you have a face for radio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, here comes the voice. Are you ready for Melinda's voice? Here it is. Hello, everybody. This is Melinda Cooper, and I am living the dream. And I'm here to help you live your dream.
Nice.
Right? I actually have one of those. When I was younger, I used to do voiceovers. I actually went to school at North Texas State University. So I had a lot of music people, a lot of people who were doing songwrites but back then they were doing, the video. It wasn't streaming, but they were still working on all that stuff. And they would say, "We need somebody with a different voice." They go, "Melinda, come on and talk." And then I would give them my
The
voice.
radio voice.
I would give them my voice. And you don't know how many people would say, "Melinda, you should go into radio. You could be one of those sultry," right? And when Elvira came out with her voice and her looks, everybody's like,
God,
"Oh my God,
Elvira.
Melinda."
I
Yeah,
love it.
oh my God, Melinda, your voice, you could do this, So I've kind of learned to do different voices to fit the mode. I can do the mommy voice. I can do the, exactly tell me what you're doing again, one of those type of voices. And I make it softer. When I was a congressional liaison, I used to change my accent according to whom I was speaking with. So, I used to love some people that came up from Boston, and I loved it because they would just go ahead and talk about being from, parking the car. It was great. So you can actually use your voice to take you many places. And I think that podcast is one of those places that you'd be surprised how far you could get out there and get moving. Because people are looking for various things. Sometimes it's humor. There is a set of twin men. I used to watch them a long time ago. To be honest with you, I just don't have time because I've noticed that I would listen to them and I'd laugh. I'd be doing too much of enjoyment and not enough keep working. So they talked about, back in the day, they would talk about why women needed to do to get a good man. Or, if you had a man, what was he doing? Was he really treating you right? Or look at the signs that are in front of you. I mean, the conversation just went all over the place. And when I first started listening to them, I was like, what? But I started laughing and it was great. And I had a great time about it. And they make a mint. They make a mint. They got a bunch of sponsors. They got people who listen to them, turn them on. They subscribe to their channel. They started growing an audience, and boom, they're in business. What do you think, Marion?
I think that's awesome. And I gave a class on how to start a Patreon page. So I was doing some investigating on some of the people who are making money doing podcasts. So people are like, they didn't believe me. There were people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Now, it was a team of people. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't just one guy. But just like you said, they were having podcast shows, and they were interesting. Some of them were about, believe it or not, politics.
That's right.
And they were making a mint. And I thought, now, wait a minute. How is this even possible? So I started doing some research about it. If you have a topic and a passion about that topic, you could have a podcast. And I don't care what it's about. It doesn't matter to me. I was so surprised at some of the topics that people are pouring money in every single month, into their podcast just to keep it alive, because you can't get paid for doing a podcast from like iTunes. They don't pay you, okay? You have to get sponsors, or you have to get a support from your fans. And they do.
You have to get those raving fans like the guy at the Twins, right? Then you have to get all these other people who, you know what? They love you. They're willing to help you, and they want you to keep going to provide what they're looking for.
Right.
Right. And that's the whole thing. People don't understand, Marian, people don't understand that your passion is really something that's coming from the heart. It's something that you could talk about forever. You research it, you look it up, you try to improve it. And people do that just because they love what their passion is.
All right, I want to just give you some stats here. I know most people are listening to us, they're not watching, and I'm not going to show anything on the screen. I just want to give you a little taste of what I'm talking about. Okay. So I went to patreon.com and I did a search for podcasts. Okay. Now think about this. They charge you to be in their on their platform. Okay.
Right.
So, and some of them charge $20, $30, $40, whatever. But imagine if they only charge $1 per person. Here is Chapo Trap House. Creating Chapo Trap House podcast. Doesn't even tell you what it's about. I just happen to know because they talk about politics. They have 35,155 patrons that are paying them every month. So even if they only charge you $1, they're making $35,000 a month. For a podcast.
That's right. Because you know what? There was one, and I'm not going to give the name out because I don't remember their name. Okay. It's not that it's been a while since I've listened to them, but I left when they were at 42K, Marian, and their monthly fee was $5.
Yeah. Most of them start at $4 or $5.
Right.
So here's just a couple. True crime. People are really interested. 36,000 patrons. Okay, here's one. I don't even know what it's about. It looks like a piece of steak. It says Covering the Tiny Meat Gang podcast. 15,000 patrons. Yep. Minorities, exclusive content and podcast talking about the minorities.
Right.
5,000 patrons. One more. This is so interesting to me because they don't even tell you what the podcast is. Not Another D&D podcast. 14,000 patrons every month paying them.
Right.
You can do it, okay? You can do it. Even if it's not for money, even if you just want to get your message out there, you can do a podcast.
You can do a podcast. And more than that, you know what? Most people don't realize, wow, guess what? You become an influencer.
Somebody called me an influencer, a senior influencer the other day. And I went, what? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's me. I'm a senior influencer.
Yeah. Because, I would love to be an influencer. I would love for somebody to say, Melinda Cooper, you're an influencer. I have had somebody say, Melinda, you're a force. Melinda, you're a force to contend with. I've had that happen quite often, actually.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I've had people say it. They just don't know that I'm a pussycat, Marian. But, I have had some people say, Melinda, you are a serious force. Right. But the reality is that we do what we love because we really believe that we're out there. I'm going to say that, right? I believe I'm out there helping people.
Yeah,
okay.
You are helping people.
For me, if somebody called me and they're like, Melinda, I'm just not getting where I can take this. And I said, okay, let's talk about this. In 15 minutes, we had her lined up with 4 brand new clients. We had her lined up on how to set it up, how to make it, and how to turn what she was talking about into a brand new product.
Now
15
that's
minutes,
what
folks.
she's talking about is right here on the screen. So if you're listening to us and you're not watching the screen, you can go down to the description below. But Melinda has a Living the Dream business membership group. And that is a place where you can not only converse with Melinda, but the other people that are in the group. So I highly recommend that you go and look at livingthedreambusiness.com so that you can see the
Membership.
different. Well, it's livingthedreambusiness.com is your website.
Yes,
And
I'm sorry.
yeah. And then they can see all the things that you have available for people who want to make things happen, or they have a message they have to share. Because I did have a client, not anymore, but for a long time she was with me, and she said, I don't want to make any money. And please don't talk about me making money, because I only want to get my message out. That's my thing. That's my dream. And anytime you tell me I want to make money, I get turned off. So don't do it. And it
Right.
was hard for me. It was hard for me not to say, oh, you could get a sponsor. And, okay, if you have a passion, you could do it. You can do a YouTube channel if you're not afraid of the camera, or you can get used to it and you can do a podcast.
Okay. Here comes. Okay, you open that door. You open the can of worms. I have to go there. I have to. Okay, folks, let me talk to you about YouTube. Melinda Cooper is not a longtime friend of YouTube. I'm just now getting out there. Okay. I'm just because I started doing this right now. This is what I've been doing. I'm getting it. I'm loving it. Believe it or not, I'm actually loving it. But here's the thing. I think it's so funny. People say to me, Melinda, I stumbled over your YouTube channel and oh my God, right? And I started laughing because I thought, wow, people are getting it. And that I've had people actually say, Melinda, I got your message out there on YouTube. I saw what you were talking about. Could you answer a couple of questions? Right? So before you know it, I started getting people actually looking at my YouTube. Wasn't anything special or anything like that. And I've got 2 people now who said, Melinda, I really believe what you're talking about. And I believe you're right that now is a time for entrepreneurs to create. That's one of my biggest things right now. You see a need, fill it. Right now, if you have a skill that somebody else needs, fill it, mention it, bring it up. We have to work together. We have to collaborate together. There's a man, Marion, and I laughed because one of my nephews had informed me about it, thinking that, I didn't really know about it. But here you go. There's a gentleman out there. I do not know his name. He is a dad who is teaching boys, actually, that's what he calls it, boys to become man and dads.
Oh,
Okay.
very nice.
So what he
They need
says,
to get their message out.
so what does he do? He says, these are for all the young boys who are having to step up and become the man of their household. They're the ones who are struggling with trying to figure out how to do some plumbing. They're the ones who's struggling how to do light fixture. So he goes out there and he makes videos talking about the various things your house or your apartment might need. You may be 12, you may be 14, you may be 10. He does not care. He says, if you have a problem and you don't know how to do it, send me an email and I will do a YouTube on it. Think about that. So a young boy is his mom's a single mom and he's struggling. He doesn't know how to do it. So he sends it to him and he goes out and he does exactly those step-by-step videotaping it.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that a little deeper. Let's unpack that, because my boss, I also have a job, a regular job, and my boss said, since we're not seeing each other, we're not having business meetings either at restaurants or at the
Right.
office anymore. He said, how about if I do some how-to videos about some of the changes I'd like to make at the office on YouTube? Because what you can do, YouTube is fantastic this way. You can make it unlisted or private. So the difference between open to the public, unlisted, and private are: private is only you can see it.
That's right.
Okay, that's it. No one else can ever see it unless they're a hacker, I guess. The second one is unlisted, and that means anybody that you give the link to can
That's
see
right.
that and you can share it. So in my mastermind, typically I'll do something like a training, or I'll record our mastermind and I'll put it on YouTube unlisted. That way, all the mastermind members can see what I want them to see, but nobody else can. And a lot of people don't know that about YouTube. It's a fantastic opportunity to host your videos, okay? They're
And you know
safe.
what? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're safe. They're convenient, and you don't have to pay anything. It's free.
Well, and you know, Marion, I have got a couple of new clients. I call them new because we are starting brand new, something totally different than what they were doing before. And they're beginning to do classes. And when they started looking at the platforms, they're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I'm not sure about that. I said, look, we're going to stop struggling with this. I said, you're going to do YouTubes. You're going to unlist it, and you're going to put them directly into your groups, and you're going to give them the link, and you're going to hold them to the strictest level and tell them they are not permitted to share their links. And I always tell people, if you have paid for a class or you have paid for training, I want to ask you a question. When all those people say, will you share that with me? Will you give me your books? Would you give me your outlines? Folks, you spent your hard-earned money for it. Why are you now giving it away free? It's different if you integrate it within your own training and you're going to create and build and learn because something you've learned. I do that all the time. You'd be surprised how many classes I take often. I'm in a new class, Marion, because I believe in sharpening my tools, right? The tools that I have in my tool shed to give to others of value. But here's the thing. If Marion and I'm a member of it, Marion's a great group. She gives great information. Why would I give it away for free when I have to pay for it? Right? And those other people do not. So realize that when you are doing YouTubes and you're using it for class to make money, to create your own courses, unlist it, and don't be ashamed that you've unlisted it. Do not be ashamed that you are charging for your course. If they were going to be somewhere else and wanting to learn that, guess what, Marion? They'd have to pay for it. Right?
Yeah.
So if you bring them value and you decide to make it a course, YouTube is a great place to use.
I want to talk about that for a minute, because a lot of times and I know you know this, Melinda, when we're talking to somebody who's new, they say, well, nobody wants to see my information. They can get it for free on YouTube. Why would they want to pay me? Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell myself this as well. They're willing to pay you because it's you.
That's right.
Okay. Now they can go to YouTube and they can watch 15 videos in an hour that have the same information, but it's not you. People are attracted to you because of your energy, because of your looks, because of your speech, because of whatever they're attracted to. It's you. Okay. So don't get caught up with, oh, well, they can go and get that information for free. Don't get caught in that trap.
No, and this falls back, Marion, to my ever-loved, what do you always hear me say? You are not everyone's client. You're not everyone's coach. And they are not everyone is your client or your coach. We all have styles. We all have our own way of doing things. We each have our own way of using our verbiage, right? How we talk to other people. The other day, I was talking with a client. It made me feel tremendous. She was referred from a prior client, well, actually a current client from me, but she was referred to me from somebody else. And she said to me, I will ever be forever grateful for her to referring you to me. You are the type of coach that I really need. She says, because of she started laughing. She goes, your style? She goes, oh my God, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to get out of the way. I've discovered that I'm either going to become a bulldozer and go after my dream. She says, I need to sit on the sideline and watch everybody else live their dream. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I asked her, I said, would you put that in a testimonial? Because you know what? That's the first time somebody has said that to me. that they're either a bulldozer going after their own dreams, or they're going to sit on the sideline and applaud somebody else getting their dreams. Right?
I just noticed you and I have the same color shirt on.
Hey, we got the message. The energy pulled us, right? Blue is a magnificent spiritual communication skill. It brings in so much energy and it brings in so much, just excitement. But Marion, I'm always excited to talk with you in our courses and our different things that we collaborate with on. And I just want people to realize that when you do podcasting, when you do YouTube, you don't have to always do it alone. Right?
That's right. That's right. I love collaboration. I was thinking about this the other day. I thought, do I do anything alone?
I don't want to know what it is if you do, because it may be a little bit private, and I don't want that here. Thank you very much.
Oh, good one, man. Good one.
We're a G-rated movie here. We don't.
Yeah.
But
it's better with somebody, but it has to be the right somebody, right,
That's
Melinda?
Right.
So do you have any advice for people who want to collaborate with somebody, but they don't know how to find that person, the right person?
One of the things that I tell people, let me see if I can do this correctly. I recommend, let me change my statement. I recommend to people is to begin with, look at what you really offer, or what your message is, or what your passion is. Then look around and see who will complement that. Okay?
Yeah.
Because now they're in their lane and you are in your lane.
You could get referrals from somebody. You could ask somebody you trust, like Melinda, who loves to connect people with other people. So you could say, Melinda, I have a dream. I want to, I want to share the cost. I want to share the things I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share that with somebody and really create a business and make some money, maybe a podcast or a video. Who do you recommend? And then I guarantee you, Melinda will start racking her brain, looking at her list, looking through all the people that she knows, and she's going to connect you with somebody. Am I right?
Yes. Because you know what? I'm a firm believer that there is somebody out there to work with you, right? Now, I'm going to tell somebody, this is funny. I know somebody will get this. It's kind of a hidden message, right? So somebody has a fantastic phone system. Fantastic. Okay. And I told her, I said, okay, so who needs to become a scheduler? Who needs to learn how to utilize that system? I said, when you figure that out, see what they offer, right? See what they offer to go with that fantastic system that you have.
Aren't you glad you were here listening today? Because Melinda has given us an idea and my brains are going. I'm like, oh, I got to create something new. Like I have time to create something new. But I want to because I know you could connect me with the right people for whatever dream I have. So if that's you, you need to contact Melinda. Now, how are you going to do that? You can go to livingthedreambusiness.com and you can talk to Melinda. She is very, as you can tell, she's friendly. She'll even talk to you while she's driving down the road in her car.
That's right. That's right. Today I'm driving down the road. Yeah, this is a living proof that you can actually be living your dream, having a laptop. What do they call it?
Laptop
lifestyle that you can do it from anywhere. And I'm proving that, folks. I want to tell you, Marion, thank you so much for being here, doing your best and trying to keep me in line and keep me going where I'm supposed to be going and helping me on this journey. I thank all of you for being here, for being a part of living the dream. And you know what? Thank you so much for spreading the word, because I really am here to help you live your dream, because it's time to do it right now.
Yes, I agree. We're here every week, every Tuesday, even if, she's driving down the road. Well, she's not actually driving, somebody else is driving.
That's right.
But we're here every Tuesday at 9:00 Central Time for you. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to ask Melinda questions and to join in on the group, the Living the Dream Business Group. Okay. So until next week.
Thank you very much. And you know what? Tell us about your passion and we'll work on it next week for you.
Oh, goody. Thanks.
Bye now.